To Alyssa? No, we text once in a while, but we haven't talked much.
I've been wondering lately how she is. And when is she coming back?
We're all waiting for her to come back. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. No, she's got a job. She's got to do her job.
You know what? They're doing really well there. And as hard as it is for them to be away from, I think, family, I think she's doing... I think she's she's really enjoying this portion of her life. Like, we're there.
Oh, I don't know if I can keep looking at it. I turn that TV off.
So Mom's a little preoccupied.
I don't watch that channel. But I looked up and I see this.
Yeah.
I don't need that. Thank you.
Yeah, I put the hockey game on. Anyways, yes. No, Alyssa and Sean are doing very well.
Well, they like each other.
Yeah, imagine that.
I talked to Jean. I was reading the Bible the other day, John in the Bible. Because Jesus' followers were these disciples, you know. And they kind of forgot, I guess, why they're disciples or what they should be doing and where they're going. And just before he was killed. And they weren't kind of listening or hearing what was being said. The reason for Jesus being there. And so I thought, they're not listening. I read another book in the Bible, and God talked to the people, or through Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if Jesus was born at that time, but telling them what to do. Well, they're not listening, and then they're all mad at him because life's not going that well, and the world's, you know, we're coming to an end, or whatever they're thinking. And I got all mad at the Bible. I said, "You're not listening." I went back and I'm listening. What did they miss? And I read it. It's very clear what they're supposed to be doing. And I thought that was so interesting. And then I started...
When people have their own agenda, they can be told the truth and they don't listen. People just, 2,000 years later, watch the news. People still don't listen. They put everything in place and they allow for everything to happen. Yes, absolutely. And people still don't listen, and then they get angry. Well, why don't you do this? Well, they did do that. You weren't paying attention.
I know, I yelled at the Bible. I yelled at...
And so 2,000 years later, it still hasn't changed. People still don't listen.
But the book that I like is the one that I got at that church. Is it Jesus? And that's the best book ever. I talked to Jean, and I talked to Sister Jean yesterday. And I said I've got to give, I said I'd pray for Dave. And then she said, give him to God. Give him to God. And I'll be taken care of.
Yeah, let go of Dave, pray for June.
Well, she didn't talk to me on the phone. But I mean, it was good when she said that. Because I find it frustrating to pray for him. Like I have to watch that I stay on track. She said, give him to God. And then I was starting to read John again, because that's her favorite book in the Bible. I remember asking her years ago, what is your favorite book? And she said, John, that's the New Testament. And then I started reading that, and I thought, yeah, these people really had to work hard at it, but they didn't know. Some of them didn't understand who Jesus really was. They knew there was going to be a Savior or whatever they called him, but they didn't know. Until they see somebody was healed, blindness or walking, and Jesus just keeps going with his friends. Those blind guys. really amazing. I really, really like that. And it started from nothing. Only God can do that. You know what I mean? You have to see the value, like the power in that. So but the way she said it, just give them to God. The Father, God the Father, power, you know? And that made sense to me, because otherwise I go into all the crap that I was telling you, and I don't have to do that anymore. I'm not living with him. It comes up, a lot of his behavior, it comes up, but inside me.
Let it go.
I have to keep doing that.
You taught me something as a child and I never forgot it. Yeah, well, you did.
What was it?
Let go, let God.
I said that?
You did.
Yeah.
Never forgot it.
Yeah, and a child will take in, the truth. They know the truth somewhere inside.
But we've had this conversation with Dave. It's you just let go, just let go, let go. And if you're and doesn't like, and just if you need help, pray for June. It doesn't matter who's hurting us or what's happened to us. It's what we do with it.
But I was reading my journal there the night I went over to Jean's. So I was telling her that the night I went over to see her, because I had been crying, and I had never cried. Never cried in my life. But that one night Dave was leaving the house on Melrose, bouncing out of the house. And I thought, he really cares. Remember, no, he doesn't. He's just looking after himself. Okay, don't. But it was all that. But I started to cry that night, and then I thought, I'd never cried. So I got Bob up still. The next day I went to bed, and he says, is Bob home? Is he here? Could he drive me over to St. Norbert? He came into the door. He said he would drive me. I wanted to see Jean. I would go into Jean's room, get on the end of her bed, and I was sitting there. That happened a lot when I was with her in the Ridge. And Bill and Maria, and I said, why? I said, Jean, I said, I never cried. I've never cried. I just realized that I've never cried. And I started to cry that night. And she's sitting there just looking at me, and she just said, you had no one to cry to. Yeah. But you could beat the crap out of me, and I might yell and scream at you, but that only happened once that I actually did that. I never did it with the superintendent. He would punch, she is really awful. I had to let her go.
The superintendent?
Well, yeah, Mrs. Fraser. She was a registered nurse, and she wore the cap, and she had the medals that they wore with the pencils and everything. And
you beat her up?
No, she beat me up. He was very unkind. I know.
And where is she now?
I have no. She's probably dead now.
Well, then you win.
She's probably died, and she's very cruel. The superintendent we had before that, like when I'd first gone to the home, was Miss Ramsey. And I loved getting up at the rest hour, just to see her face, just to come and see her stand in the doorway and look at all us little kids. I guess about 3 by that time. And I really liked her because I thought she really likes us. I couldn't wait to get out from my rest hour, they called it, get up and see her standing there. She didn't come in and hug us and do anything like that. She just stood there and watched us. And she'd have this great look on like we all counted. She was beautiful. And then and when she left, Mrs. Fraser came. Annie Pauline had said that one of the things that Mrs. Fraser had said when she got to the home was that it was run too much like a family. It had to be run like an institution. She changed that. I know.
Are you going to share any more of those? Or?
Oh.
There's one in there that I'm...
Your favorite?
Yeah. I can see it staring me in the eye.
Oh yes, it is an eyeball.
Do you want it?
No.
I'll share.
No.
It's the only one like that.
No, there's probably more.
Oh.
Yeah, so. You can reach. Yeah, so.
You're going to eat all those, aren't you?
Oh yeah. That's the terrible part. I ate that big tin.
Mm-hmm.
Bernie brought it. It was a long tin. Have you seen those?
Mm-hmm.
And it had 2 big bags inside. Oh my gosh, I had them over here that night and I ate. I actually